Good morning, everyone. We are walking at 4:15 a.m. right now. We are on 86th Street again, but we're not going to be doing 86th Street. We're going to be on 13th Avenue. Looks like the bagel shop is open, but I don't know if it's open for business. Oh, it is. So guys, if you want bagels from Park Bagels on 14th Avenue and 86th Street, you're more than welcome. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk on 13th Avenue. There is some traffic on the more busier avenues. Looks like we got somebody heading to work right there. Look at that on the bike. All right, so it is, let me give you guys a time check. I don't know if I said 4:15. It is 4:12. So I guess I'll title this walk 4 a.m. walk on 13th Avenue. How's that? I'll round it down. So we're going to be walking on 13th Avenue. We're going to walk the complete distance, okay? We are going to be walking from 86th Street, which is where we are now, all the way down to about 36th Street. That's a long walk. Especially considering the time. You can hear how quiet it is. If you hear that low roar of traffic, that is the traffic on both sides of the Verrazano Bridge, which is about a mile and a half from here to my 11 o'clock, like in that direction. You can't see it right now, obviously, because of all the trees. The golf course are blocking out the view, but I just saw a really big, either that's a big rabbit or a possum or something. We're right next to the golf course. We're gonna see some really weird animals. Yeah, that's a possum. Possum just ran right in front of us. Let's see if we can get a good view of him. He's up on the stairs now. Let me see if we could see him. He's up there somewhere. You'll see a lot of different types of animals over here, from raccoons, possums. All right, here we are, guys. We are on 13th Avenue. And I am walking right in the middle of it. We're going to be walking through one of the most busiest traffic zones that you can find. You know, when you guys have walked with me on 13th Avenue, when you get down into the Borough Park area, right now we're in Dyker Heights, but when we get down into the Borough Park area, the traffic down there is just absolutely nuts. But we should see a very quiet 13th Avenue. Of course, there's probably going to be some deliveries to some of the bakeries down there. Who knows? Maybe there won't be any deliveries to the bakeries down there when we get down there. But it's going to be one quiet walk. So yes, I am still currently on my August break, which really doesn't mean anything, right? If I'm doing this walk at 4 in the morning. But this month is a month I am taking a break, and that means I put out very little content. But every once in a while I still jump on, and here we are. We got something right now. It's a Tuesday morning. It is August 12th. So I will try to get this up on the same day. I am carrying my trusty metal baton right here in front of the camera. I'm wiggling it. A big black cat crossing me. That's hopefully that's not a omen of things to come. I don't believe in any of that stuff, so I've never had any issues. Here goes St. Bernadette. St. Bernadette to my right. Tasty Pastry to my left. And no, nobody's in there right now. It is dark. Wow. Anyway, let's look back at St. Bernadette here. Now, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this, but we actually have something pretty cool happening. It's been happening for the last few days. If you remember my walk on 86th Street about a week or two ago, we had Venus was out early in the morning to the east. And we are walking northeast right now, so if you look in front of us, you're going to look out there and you're going to see two bright dots, right? If you see them right out there over the catering hall, the colorful catering hall facade, you're going to see a bright one. The lower one is Venus, and the higher one at the 11 o'clock position is Jupiter. So we have a two-planet conjunction going on. It's been a big deal with the astronomy. I guess you could say the astronomy department. Everyone's been photographing it all over the world. It's a very rare conjunction of two planets early in the morning, so it's only going to be happening for the next few days, whether it'll be that close. I'll give you guys another look and then we'll continue on. The local karate place. Getting the street here. We have not really seen much people on the street. We've seen a couple, getting into cars. They're definitely going to work. I'm the only one not going to work. I am at work right now for the channel. Oh, look at this. We got a new pizzeria. Angelini's Pizzeria. This is new. Here goes the funeral home. I'll tell you what the funeral home says. It says 21 degrees Celsius at 4:09. That is actually wrong that time. It's 70 degrees. The temperature is correct. It is 70 degrees, but it's not 4:09 in the morning. I will tell you right now what time it is on my phone. It is 4:19. So that clock is 10 minutes fast. This is a B&A pork store. It's closed, obviously. Very dark down here. And if you look over those buildings, there is Jupiter and Venus again. Should be able to see it in the camera. I mean, to the naked eye, it's not as bright as it normally is. That's because we are definitely fighting some haze. The humidity is ridiculous right now, by the way. It is 90%. Looks like we got private sanitation, or is that a delivery truck? Can't tell from here. It's pretty big. Man, to think that we're going to be walking all the way down to 36th Street at this time. We should see some morning light coming up by the end of the walk. We should. Sunrises are happening a little later each day as we get closer to the fall. Days are starting to get shorter. So later sunrises and earlier sunsets are starting to happen. I think at this point in the year, we're losing about 2 minutes per day of sunlight until we reach winter solstice, which is the shortest day of the year. That's all the way on December 21st. Here's some moving around. I got this guy delivering. He's delivering, that's basically stuff for Dunkin' Donuts, I believe. I don't know if you guys saw, a cop car just rolled by me, so I rested my baton up on my shoulder. I don't want to look like I'm ready in the ready position, you know. Well, I got the light at Bay Ridge Parkway. Not that it matters. There's almost no traffic over here. I could see a person in front of me, a silhouette. Thirteenth Avenue in Brooklyn. We are in the Dyker Heights section. We are moving into Borough Park probably in the next 10-15 minutes when we cross the 60s. walking with the camera at this early in the morning, you get to see what's going on. If something were to happen, I would be recording it. I say that because I have this person in front of me. I don't know if I should see. This is one of those moments where you decide probably not to walk behind a person. I don't want to spook this person. It's actually a woman, so. And I'm walking around with a baton on my shoulder. So what I'm going to do is get across the street here. See if I could overtake her and then get back on the other side. You see her, she is right there. Now, if you guys are wanting to see crispy pizza, well, I got news for you. Crispy pizza's over there. It is pitch black. Normally during the day, very, very crowded, and not right now. Alright, I'm going to get back across the street. Got another person right here. So we've actually walked by two people. So far. And the girl that was across the street, she now walked onto the other side. So she probably saw me and was like, let me avoid this character. He's walking around with a camera. Oh no, she's still behind me. So one thing I did want to talk about, just like I talked about on the last walk, is danger. Is it dangerous to walk around 13th Avenue at 4 in the morning? Well, any place in Brooklyn, you should never let your guard down after the 11 o'clock hour. And believe it or not, there's actually been a couple of murders on this end of 13th Avenue in the last 20 years. So they were isolated incidents between parties that knew one another. So it wasn't anything random. This right here is Bay Ridge Avenue. But is 13th Avenue dangerous to walk down here? Like I said, I mean, you definitely don't want to put your guard down anywhere in Brooklyn at this time. That's why I carry my little magic wand. I know what somebody's thinking. They're like, what if somebody comes up on you and pulls a gun? Well, look, you know, I don't think about that. It can happen, but I tend to put myself in a position where, you know, I got my eyes on all sides of my head open, so I don't want to get into a position where I see somebody and they just get right up on me. That's the first wave of defense, right? Is keeping yourself isolated. Keep your eyes open. I know you guys see the camera is pointing straight, but I am looking in all directions as I walk, so I'm very mindful of the traffic. Like earlier, I saw that cop car turn onto 13th Avenue. Like I see everything. So the only way I'm getting jumped is someone hiding and they're coming out of nowhere, or somebody in a car with multiple people. So let's hope it doesn't get to that. Some people might see me out on the street with this baton on my shoulder walking around and probably think this guy's like neighborhood watch or something. Or he's like a vigilante. But I guess during this walk I'm neighborhood watch, right? All right, this right here is 65th Street. Light's about to change red, but I don't think it matters. Oh, we've got two people walking towards me. Look at this. Probably going to work. You got TD Bank right there on the corner, and on my left side here is a funeral home. Give you guys a little planet check. You can see Venus and Jupiter are rising much higher. They're getting brighter as they get higher into the sky, as they get out of that low atmosphere haze. Very soon we'll be in Borough Park. Stay tuned. It'll be the most quiet Borough Park you've ever seen. I could be wrong too, you know. It could be, you know, we could walk down there and be surprised by a lot of traffic. Who knows? I tell you what, we have walked by, I feel like we've walked by more people on this one than we did on the 86th Street. And I'm saying that now, I'm giving you that kind of remark now because there is another person coming up towards me here. Person's got a bag in their hand, they're walking a little slow. I am in the ready position just in case. Person's got a cane, so we're good. I know everybody just made a remark like, he's got a cane. He'd probably beat you up with it. That is true. I mean, there are some people. I actually knew a guy. Funny story. We're walking over the train tracks for the N line here and the Brooklyn Railroad. But there was a guy I knew years ago. He used to walk around with a cane. He didn't need the cane for walking, if you know what I mean. I can hear a train going underneath me right now. All right, we have officially made it into Borough Park. As we are about to cross over 60th Street. Now, normally at this point, I would say, guys, traffic's going to get really heavy. There's going to be a lot of horn beeping, a lot of school buses, blah, 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 blah. But that is not the case today. Now, in case you're wondering, I do have to walk back, right? This isn't a one-way trip. It's not like I got an apartment in Borough Park, so I have to make my way back. So this will count. This will count as today's walk, which I would say should come out to about 6.5 miles one way and the other, right? So it's about 3.25 miles one way and 3.25 back. The birds are starting to wake up. That's usually a sign that sunrise is close, but it's really not close. It's still got about another hour and a half. We are on 59th Street. Now, I have to watch myself. When we get to New Utrecht Avenue, that is a shady little area over there at this time of day or night, whichever way you want to say it. But we'll be keeping our eyes open in a few blocks. I'm walking under a tent right now. Got another truck here making a delivery, sounds like. This car right here is running. Looks like somebody's probably taking a nap in there. We are quickly coming up on New Utrecht Avenue. You can see the tall high rise over there. Venus and Jupiter right above it. At this time of night, there's not a lot of trains running. Only about 3 trains run per hour until about 5 in the morning, when you get about 4 trains per hour. And then by 6 a.m. you start getting the normal load of trains taking people to work. All right, here we are at New Utrecht Avenue. It looks like there's some kind of a fencing on the sidewalk, price like a construction partition, so maybe we'll cross over. "55th Street Station" for the D train. We're gonna go back onto the other side. Giving you guys a look. I am literally standing in the middle of 13th Avenue, which is impossible to do. Impossible to do after the hours of like 6 a.m., I guess. There are people over here, so I'm gonna cross the street just to give myself some space. All right, we're gonna just stay on this side, I guess. I don't want to keep crisscrossing. Looks like morning prayer in the Jewish community early. Now, just to give you a little background, I didn't want to walk by, a bunch of people that are going to do morning prayer with a pipe in my hand. I mean, it's a baton, but it is, can be considered a pipe. Maybe I'm a little too conscious about stuff like that. But let's face it, I'm walking around Brooklyn with something in my hand. Actually, I got a camera in one hand and the baton in the second hand. So I'm pretty sure anybody walking around is looking at me, right? So look how quiet it is down here, guys. Have you ever seen 13th Avenue in Borough Park this quiet? It's a very nice storefront. Nothing but delivery trucks down here. I'll tell you right now, it smells really nice down here. I can smell all of the bread baking down here. There's numerous bakeries down here, so. Looks like the supermarket is getting a delivery.
Everything is in the back. Only 2 orders from here.
Very quickly, we are getting to the end of this walk. We are on 49th Street, I believe. Yes, this is 49th Street. And we are 37 minutes into this walk. This is the quickest walking you could do also in the morning. There's no traffic, so you're going to be pretty much walking through every intersection as long as you could do it safely without having to wait for a light. Woof, I just got a really really strange smell just entered my body. I don't know what that was. Something was either rotten or cooking and just didn't smell right cooking or something. I don't know. This is the big toy store over here on 13th Avenue. That's usually open with a lot of people inside and a lot of music coming out of it. Looks like I got somebody hanging out over here outside their car. Oh, this bagel place is open. Look at that. Hot Bagels on the corner of 47th. 47th and 13th is open. I guess the bagel places open up really early because they got to be up early anyway to bake and create all the bagels. On the way back, yes, if you're wondering, I am probably going to stop and get some bagels when I get back on the other end again in my neighborhood. I'll stop in Park Bagel and get a couple of bagels. For anybody new to the channel, welcome. So you might be new to the channel and not know this, but my neighborhood, I actually live in Dyker Heights, the big Christmas light neighborhood. That was where we just walked from. And we are walking into Borough Park. We are in Borough Park now, which is a neighborhood I lived in for a very short period of time. I always tell the story when we had left Sunset Park to move into Dyker Heights back in the 80s to get away from all the crime of Sunset Park. Sunset Park was like the worst neighborhood in Brooklyn back in those days. We got like a temporary place for like a year right over here on 41st Street between 13th and 12th. So I know this area very well. It has changed a lot over the years. So this neighborhood is not, I don't know how to say it. This neighborhood is not not strange to me, I guess, the way you would put it. Now, it's always been, I know some people might think it's not always been Jewish. It's, for as long as I can remember, it's always been Jewish down here. But not as much as today. It's definitely probably majority Jewish, but it was like 50-50 back in the days. Now, this is another thing I talk about sometimes, is if you notice the traffic is moving in one direction here, right? So when you get past, when we got past New Utrecht Avenue, the traffic patterns down here are one way on 13th Avenue and on 14th Avenue. So 13th Avenue traffic is heading towards me, and 14th Avenue traffic would be heading in the same direction as we're walking right now. It wasn't always like that. Back when I was a kid, 13th Avenue and 14th Avenue were two-way streets. They changed this. They reconfigured this, I want to say in the late 90s, early 2000s, to accommodate the amount of traffic that comes through here. There's just a ridiculous amount of traffic that comes through here. And one of the things is deliveries. You know, you got a lot of businesses. I mean, this whole avenue is just one big business, right? So you got a lot of deliveries. So there's a lot of delivery trucks that got to idle. And it couldn't be done with a two-way street. It was always gridlocked. So what they did was they made 13th Avenue one way and 14th Avenue one way, and that's how we have these traffic patterns down here now. We got this supermarket here on the corner that's always been here. It's obviously changed names over the years, but it's always been a corner supermarket. This over here, this really big building, it was never always a big building. It was like very small buildings. It was like one-story buildings. There used to be like a guitar instructor. Used to be in one of the buildings. He was like a very good friend of the neighborhood. Everyone knew him. Used to give guitar lessons. And then right over here, right on the corner here, used to be Carvel. We used to have a Carvel here, right on the corner. And if anybody that ever lived in this neighborhood when I did, if they might remember the old, back when they did VHS videos, you know, when you had a VCR, right over here they had a place called Crazy Mary's. It was kind of like a pull on the name Crazy Eddie's, but right here, right where this big yellow sign is, used to be Crazy Mary's, and you'd come in here and rent videotapes. All right, we're coming up on 39th Street. We're getting close to the end of the walk here, guys. We got about, I want to say 3 more blocks. So I want to thank everybody now for coming along. You just didn't have to wake up early to watch this. If you did, you know, well, there you go. But you might be watching this in daylight hours. Now, some people might ask, do I go to sleep as soon as I go back home? No, I'm going to take a shower, but I'm definitely not going to go to sleep. That's it, I'm up now. I may take a nap later. It was the B35. I might, oh, well, look at that. Does that say 10 a.m. right there on that sign? Look at that, 10 a.m. If you're watching this at 10 a.m., namaste. But, I might take a nap, for sure, at some point today. But, I'm one of those people, I got a lot of energy, man. Somebody once said to me, do you ever get any sleep? And I said, I'll sleep when I die. When I die, that's when I'll sleep. How's that? Look at the filth over here. Man, what is going on here? So I'm going to say it, you know, Borough Park streets are some of the filthiest streets you're going to find in Brooklyn. If you remember when we were walking in my neighborhood as we were getting into Dyker Heights, into Borough Park, there wasn't a lot of trash on the streets. And you get into Borough Park, man, Borough Park is filthy. There's no other way to put it. You know, I know some people, you know, if you live in this neighborhood and you're offended by that, well, maybe you should clean up a bit. I don't know, but that is a big truck, man. What is in that tank? If anybody will leave a message in the comment section, is there water in there? Fuel? Cement? There's definitely a pipeline underneath. Is it a cement truck? I'm sure people will chime in the comment section. But anyway, this is the end of the walk right here. We are on, I want to say 36th Street. Let's get this right. Let's go over the street. Let's just make sure. This is over by Day Hill Road. Yep, we're on 36th Street. All right, guys. So I want to thank everybody for tagging along. And we have one last look at Venus and Jupiter up there. And as you can see, the night sky is still night out. So there is no twilight coming up yet. So, all right, guys, take care. And I will catch you all on the next one. Bye-bye.